Woke up an hour late. It's 8 o'clock. Let's go eat some breakfast. Really fast. And get this car done. Alright, it is 9:09. Still got a little bit to do, but I'm making good progress this morning. I've just fitted the fuel reg, changed some fittings around. I've just put the fuel rail on. And basically I'm just mocking the lines up because I actually need to drive this car to the dyno. And I can't do that if I pin the new injectors because they're thousands and the standard ones are like, maybe like 350s, I'm not sure. No clue what the standard 180 SX injector is in regards to how big it is. So if you know, put it in the comments, then we'll all know. But yeah, it'll basically run incredibly rich on the way to the dyno if I do pin them. Possibly even to the point where it won't run at all. May foul the plugs up enough that the car will just be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this anymore. So, better to be safe than sorry. I'll show you what I've done. So I've made that line up there to go to the reg. And then I've made the other line up that comes out the bottom there. It's actually cut off. That goes into the intake. So basically it'll go intake to the back side of the rail, out of the fuel filter. From here it'll go into the side of the reg, and then I'm actually just going to trim the return line down, which is just there, once I get there, and I'll put the return line on the bottom of the reg. And then I'll pin the injectors once I'm there. I'm running a little bit early on time, which is good. Yeah, so I will basically pack the car up now, start it, put coolant in the rad. I'm actually not going to put coolant in there, I'm lying. I'm going to put water in there because when I was doing my apprenticeship, I was told that basically when you put a new head gasket in a car, that you should basically put water in it, let it get hot a couple of times into operating temperature, so that the sealant actually has time to, I suppose, bond and seal. Whereas if you have coolant in there, it's an anti-corrosive, it can actually get in the way of that sealing process. Unsure how actual true that is, but this is the way I've been doing it for like the last 15 years and it's never let me down. So I'm going to run it up on the dyno with just water in it. Once I'm finished with the dyno tonight, I'll head back here, drain the water, fill it with coolant, and then hopefully be driving tonight. All right, let's pack things up and head to the dyno. All right, so just went to get it on boost a little bit. It seems like we popped an intercooler pipe. So get some tools out. So they're a 7 or an 8 mil. Let's see what's going on. That's the culprit. All right, all fixed. Let's try that again, shall we? Already feels more powerful just with the intercooler on it. The intercooler I had on it was very small, so yeah, already feels like it's making a bit more power. So although my cams and my turbo haven't rocked up, I feel like it should feel like quite a big difference, seeing as it's already feeling like a difference just with the intercooler changed. Go to the conveni, get some food for the day, head to the dyno. We're about 15 minutes away. Alright, just pulling up now. See where Satoshi is and what he wants me to do. Alright, so just giving me a nut to put on for the air temp sensor. But I will need to weld it here, so I'll basically need to pull the cooler pipe off, drill it, weld it, put it back on, which is no issue. So it's just backing it out to the dyno now, so I can put the injectors in it, finish off those small little bits and pieces, and then we'll start tuning. power's in, lines are on. I just need 2 hose clamps for the end and a vacuum line to the reg. And now I've just marked this into cooler piping on the bottom here, and I'm just going to yank this off real quick, weld that air temp sensor bung in, and I'll put that air temp sensor in it, and Satoshi's pinning the ECU as we speak. Oh, repinning the FCON like adapter harness, so yeah, let's keep doing this. Alright, just used Satoshi's TIG. Actually it's pretty decent. Just welded this nut in. Let's have a look. Now let's go chuck it back on the car. Satoshi's I think finished wiring that, repinning that ECU plug now. So we'll chuck this back on the car and then I think we're good to go. Alright, cooler pipes back in, air temp sensors in. So now I just need some more vac line to run to the fuel pressure reg, and then we'll need to also tee off somewhere, possibly that hose there, to tee off to the map sensor. Alright, we'll see where Satoshi's at. Alright, so we're just about to get tuning now. What time is it? 1:16. So it's been a little bit of a morning setting everything up. The ECU patch harness that I had didn't have a provision for the air temp sensor because of the ECU that I was going to be using, which was an FCON V. And Satoshi's like, this shit, get an FCON V Pro, which is a gold version of it. So basically this morning we've just been basically pinning that air temp sensor, running wiring to it, pinning that to the ECU, and then we've actually had to run, I suppose, the wiring through the engine bay for the map sensor as well. So it's all done now. Satoshi's just setting the settings up in the ECU, dead times for the injectors and all that sort of stuff. I think we're about to start tuning. All set up. Fingers crossed. It's actually quite scary. It's even more scarier for me because I bought this motor from Up Garage and it's legit just stock. I think it only had like 60,000 Ks on it, but still, it's like standard bearings. The motor's a red top, so the latest car I could have come out was like 96, so it's like, you know, nearly 30 years old. And then you just like hear someone on the dyno just raping it, you're like, it's gonna explode. Okay, so we're getting 1.2 bar as it comes onto boost, but then it actually falls off to 0.7 bar at the top end, and we just checked the actuator, it seems okay. So we've just dodgy wired up a boost controller to it. So here we go. Okay, so we fixed the boost issue, but the engine was just on fire. That line came off, the oil went on there. We're making like 1.3, tapering down to 0.9. Alright, so I'm making 280 horsepower, 1.2 bar as it comes on the boost, tapering back down to 0.9. Making 279 horsepower, baby. So yeah, it's gonna be way better than what it was, but yes. Now it's just fixing up the on and off throttle settings, and then we're basically good to go. Keen to drive tonight. tune's done. Go home, have a sleep, have a shower. Then we've got dinner tonight at 8 o'clock with a bunch of Japanese dudes, and then driving tonight. Super keen. I'm going to end this one here. Massive thank you to Satoshi for all his help. Keen to drive. 279 horsepower, here we go. Keen to actually see how that feels tonight compared to how it has been. But yeah, actually when I get home, I do have front cast runs. I could probably put that in and then I can space the wheels back out so it looks cool. Maybe I should just sleep, I'm not sure. Alright, next video will be me driving Mayhem on Monday. It's Friday, 3 days from now. Still need to modify my knuckles between now and then and do a couple more things to the car. So maybe you'll see me before then. Alright, see you soon. Honestly, it's like a new car. It's sick.